Hello everyone, today we're going to look at graphing with slope-intercept. The slope-intercept form of a line is the following. Y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y value of the y-intercept, which is 0, b. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by plotting the y-intercept. Then we're going to use the slope as rise over run and move from the y-intercept to a second point. Then we're going to do this a second time so that we have 3 points. After we have 3 points, hopefully they will be in a straight line and we will connect them with the straight line. So let's graph the following equations. Y equals 3x minus 2. So here we have that m is 3. The y-intercept is the point 0, negative 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is plot the y-intercept, 0, negative 2. Next, I'm going to, again, take the slope, which is 3, and I want to write that as a rise over run. So I'm going to change it to a fraction. So I'm going to write the slope is 3 over 1. It's kind of thick, but that's fine. And again, that's rise over run. So I'm going to take my point, 0, negative 2, rise 1, and run 1. So if I rise 1, I'm going to be at 0, negative 1. If I rise 3, sorry, I'm going to be at 0, 1. And then I run 1, wasn't quite centered, I'm going to be at 1, 1. So I went up 3 and to the right 1. Excuse me. And at this point, I have an option. I can do the same thing. I can go up 3 and over 1, and that will bring me right around there. Or I can rewrite my slope as another fraction that's equal to 1. So I could also do negative 3 over negative 1. And then when I go back to my y-intercept and I rise negative 3 and run negative 1, I'm going to be right there at that 4th point. So I can think of my slope as different fractions, or I can just do the same fraction twice. Okay, so you want at least 3 points, because any 2 points make a line, and you want to make sure you have the correct line. So here I have 4 points, but you need at least 3. And then, again, I will connect them with what it will hopefully be a straight line. It's not quite great. Maybe I'll try that again. This is why you graph with a pencil, so that you can erase. And like before I've mentioned, make sure that your line is really big. It encompasses the whole graph that you have. Don't make it really, really small. Use the whole thing. Okay, so let's try another one. Y equals negative 2/3 x plus 1. So again, we have the y-intercept being 0, 1. So I'm going to plot that. And then we'll look at our slope, negative 2/3. Now remember, with a negative sign in a fraction, I can put the negative sign on top. So negative 2 over 3. I could also put it on the bottom, 2 over negative 3. So it doesn't matter where you put the negative. It's going to have to be either with the run or with the rise. So if I use my negative 2 over 3, I'm going to go down 2 and to the right 3. And I have that point. And again, I could do it again. Go down another 2 over another 3. Or, like I said before, I could use the 2 over negative 3. If I use the 2 over negative 3, then I'm going to go up 2 and to the left 3. That wasn't a great one. Okay, so you have options. But just remember that when you start moving, you start at your y-intercept. I have a lot of people who will start at the origin, but you have to start at the y-intercept. Okay, so again, I've got 4 points there. They all look like they're on the same line, which is really nice. So then I'm going to connect them and try really, really hard to make that straight. Missed in a couple there, but it's good enough. I'm not looking for perfection. Okay. Let's try another one. So y equals 4. So here we have our y-intercept. It is 0, 4. And again, I will graph that to 0, 4. And then the slope, notice that we don't have an mx. That means that m is 0. So the slope is 0. I need to write 0 as a fraction. I can do 0 over 1. I can do 0 over 4. I can do 0 over -3. Right, 0 over anything that's not also 0 is perfectly fine. So let's say I choose 0, 1. So I'm not going to rise, and I'm only going to run 1. That would put me roughly here. If I chose my 0, 4, that would put me here. If I chose my 0, -3, so that was starting at the y-intercept again. If I start at my y-intercept and I do 0 over -3, that would put me here. So no matter what I'm using as my fraction for 0, I'm rising 0, and I'm only running. And if I connect these guys with a straight line, I should have a nice horizontal line. And remember, we've talked about horizontal lines have a slope of 0, so hopefully this makes sense. And let's try one more. So y equals 1/4 x. So here, my y-intercept is 0, 0. There's no b, so it's 0. So when I go to graph it, that's the origin. Let me get as close as I can. And then my slope is 1 over 4. So that means I'm going to rise 1 and move to the right 4. That'll give me a close enough point. And again, I can do it again. Go up 1 and to the right 4. It's really hard to make these accurate. Or, again, I could also say that it's -1 over -4. Again, any fraction that's equivalent to 1/4 will work. So if I go back to my y-intercept, which is the origin, and I use -1 over -4, I'm going to go down 1 and to the left 4. That will give me that point. Okay, so the more points you do, the better, because it's easier to see if you messed up somewhere. Because again, any 2 points will make a line, and I want to make sure that it is the correct line. Okay, so I've got at least 3 points. I've got 4 here. And again, I'll try my best to make a straight line out of it using the whole width and length of my graph. Okay, so try some out, try the homework, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.